In August of 1969, the body of 12-year-old Tina Andrews was discovered in an oil field just outside Macomb. She had been missing for about 10 days when her body was discovered. Now, immediately, local law enforcement authorities, the police, the sheriff's department, they were assisted by FBI and State Highway Patrol investigators. Immediately, they began an investigation of the case. They interviewed many suspects, pursued a number of leads, but had no real breaks in the case for over a year. And in early 1971, a young woman went to the current district attorney, Joe Pygott, and told him that she had eyewitness information about Tina Andrews and her fate. With that information, the district attorney was able to secure indictments against 2 current Macomb police officers. In the fall of 1971, one of those officers was tried for murder. The result of the first trial was a hung jury or a mistrial. He was retried with a different district attorney in the spring of 1972. That trial resulted in an acquittal. And so officially then, Tina Andrews' murder is unsolved.
Was the other officer charged with anything?
The second officer was also indicted for murder, but with the acquittal in the trial of the first officer, the district attorney decided, I think, that he didn't have a case that he could win against the second officer, and those charges were dismissed.
Were the 2 officers police officers at the time of her murder?
In 1969, at the time of the murder, one of the men was definitely a police officer. One was not officially a member of the force, but at the time of the indictments in 1971, both men were Macomb police officers.
You said her body was found 10 days after she went missing. What were the circumstances of her disappearance?
On the evening of August 13th, 1969, Tina Andrews and a friend of hers, Billy Joe Lambert, accepted a ride with 2 men outside a teenagers' club in downtown Macomb. The 2 men took the girls. This is according to Billy Joe Lambert's testimony in 2 trials. The 2 men took the 2 girls to an oil field just a couple of miles outside Macomb. It was well known as a make-out spot. When the car stopped, when the men and the girls arrived at the oil field, the 2 girls tried to get away. Tina Andrews did not. Her friend did. And 10 days later, her body was discovered there by oil field workers. She'd been killed with a gunshot to the back of the head.
It took Billy Joe, is that what you said her name was? It took her a while to come forward. Was that out of fear?
Absolutely out of fear. She said consistently, I didn't know who to go to. Was I supposed to go to the police? She was aware that the men were police officers. She said, was I supposed to go to the police? Could I trust the law? She really didn't have any place, I think, that she felt that she could turn. Andrews and Lambert were both girls from modest social backgrounds. They were definitely of a working class background. By the time of the trial, Tina Andrews' friend, Billy Joe, was 15. She was the mother of a 6-week-old child at the time of the first trial. The defense attorney made a great deal of that fact, arguing that this is a person who is essentially disreputable, and the question is, to the jury, who do you believe? A police officer, a representative of the forces of law and order that we all need to support in the community, or do you take the word of this disreputable girl who is trying essentially to defend another disreputable girl who is dead?
Trent A. Brown is the author of Murder in Macomb, the Tina Andrews case. Thank you so much for being with us.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for your time.